Morning, it's 30 minutes to the hour. Welcome to Newsroom Out of Stories. With barely 24 hours to the MPP presidential primaries, all five contenders, Kennedy Agyabeng, Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum, Brian Agyabeng, and Dr. Bawumia, including Governor Agyabeng, are projecting confidence, selling messages of unity, jobs, and party cohesion as they make their final push for the mandate to lead the MPP to the 2028 general elections. Also, we are live with the Ministry of Health as it inaugurates a 7-member committee to investigate alleged unethical medical practices uncovered in the 4th Estate, as was dubbed as medical kalabule at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. More on this brief as in the business segment, we'll bring you the story of the Vice President, Professor Nana Agyabeng, who is calling for African business leaders to champion a unified intra-African trade policy backed by innovation and technology to accelerate the full realization of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement. And later on the foreign front, Burkina Faso's military government 100 political parties whose activities had been suspended since the military rulers seized power in 2022. We delve into the details pretty shortly. To stay with us here on Newsroom. Live from our studios here in Northridge, Kanda, this is Newsroom. My name is Emmanuel Agyabeng. We begin in politics. Strong word, and you may have it, meek persuasion. All tools employed in one underlining message: vote for me. The aspirants for the flag bearer position of the New Patriotic Party have made their voice heard to their electoral college and taken chances at presenting their opponents to voters.
As the MPP heads into the crucial presidential primaries, 5 men with different political journeys are asking delegates for their mandate on January 31, 2026.
Because minim say mudi frank ane sheme sa me pa mafre obia se ombembe kame ho na yenyina kopre enje tumi no.
Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia entered frontline politics as an economist and vice president of the republic.
We must have a conscious effort in terms of approach to unite the party.
Candidate who wants people to vote for him will look eyeball to eyeball and lie. He's a big liar.
Kennedy Agyabeng rose through grassroots activism into parliament, serving multiple terms as MP for Asin Central.
Have the brains and the guts to create job opportunities for you.
Dr. Brian Agyabeng, Member of Parliament for Abetefi constituency, says he is in the race to provide firm, decisive leadership.
I firmly believe in the party's capacity to overcome its challenges, lead Ghana towards a brighter future.
Anybody who can put their neck on the line that they can predict delegates is making a huge mistake. There's a reason why you go to a place and say 30% say they are undisclosed. If you think you can figure them out, let's wait till January 31st.
Dr. Yao Osei-Aduchum later became an MP for Bosomchi and Minister of Education.
When I'm the president of this country, there will be an office for job creation within the presidency.
It is time for us to usher in a new dawn, a new dimension, a new direction, and I believe a new phase. And that phase is Kwabena Agyapong.
Engineer Kwabena Agyapong, former General Secretary of the MPP, says he will restore discipline ahead of the 2028 elections.
My candidature gives the party a new lease of life.
As the countdown ticks, 211,849 delegates will decide the fate of the hopefuls across 333 polling centers nationwide.
Well, flag bearer hopeful for the New Patriotic Party, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, has pledged to unify the party, champion living wages for workers, and intensify efforts to eradicate poverty should he be given the mandate to lead. Speaking at a press conference ahead of the presidential primary scheduled for Saturday, January 31, Dr. Edichum said his campaign had been conducted without insult or personal attacks, positioning him as a candidate capable of bringing the party together after the internal contest.
I did a campaign devoid of insults. I will be your unifier. I'm the one who can unify the party. But when you elect me, nobody's going to say because of what he said and how he insulted my leader, the person that I loved and voted for, I'm not going to follow him. So that is something good that I will assure you that we'll have a unified party going into the 2028 election. To my brothers and sisters, working people of Ghana, I believe that our nation must ensure that workers have livable wages. Livable wages are wages that take care of you and your family. You're able to take care of your family, pay fees and other things, and be able down the line to own a car, own a home. That is what happens in most countries that are emerging out of poverty. So livable wages is something that we need to work on as a nation. And I'm going to champion it, and I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do. Ghanaians must prosper, and we need to increase productivity for the prosperity to happen. But there can be no increase in productivity without providing you the avenue and opportunity to be trained and to train yourself well, giving you vouchers so that you can gain skills. 21st century skills in the IT field, for example, is something that my government will pursue. Workers will be given the opportunity to train themselves well so that they can advance themselves and add value to wherever has been assigned to them at their place of work. I think I've also alluded to the fact that we have to eradicate poverty from the face of this country. Other countries have done it. If it's a very important goal and we work on it, we'll be able to do it. The idea that close to about 40% of the people are not working, or some who are working are still poor, I think it's something that should concern us, and we need to do everything possible to eradicate poverty from the face of this country.
Well, it's barely 24 hours to the primaries, which is going to decide whether the elephants becomes the winning symbol in 2028 when they contest with the decision of the NDC as to who leads them as a party after the tenure of John Dramani Mahama. In the Ashanti region, where voting is expected to take place, some 47 constituencies are expected to represent, with 36,000 delegates expected to show up. We do understand that we are seeing over 1,000 at Kwadaso, Asawasi, Asante Bekwai, and Bantama, and that will lead to an operation of multiple voting centers located at the same venue to ensure a smooth and orderly process. We do understand as well that the Ghana Police Service says it is fully prepared to provide security at all polling centers to guarantee a peaceful exercise. The Ashanti Regional Police Public Relations Officer Gordon Ahianyo warned that any attempt to disrupt the process would be dealt strictly in accordance with the law. I have with me now our Ashanti Regional Correspondent Isaac Justice Bediako to bring us up to speed on happenings in the Ashanti region, even as the MPP stronghold prepares to choose who leads them in 2028. Isaac, good morning. We are grateful that you could join us. Help us understand the mood there first. Are we seeing more people coming in?
Well, I must say that in the Ashanti region, yes, they are fully prepared for this particular election. Earlier on, I spoke to the party regional executives, and they told me that, yes, they are fully prepared. The ballot papers are expected to arrive anytime soon. Security arrangements are far advanced, and so everything is on course. But the arrangement they have made so far for these elections is at that. So in the Ashanti region, we have 47 constituencies. The election will take place in each of the constituencies' regional capitals. So now, district capitals. What they are going to do is that each constituency will converge at one polling center for them to vote. However, because of the numbers that some constituencies have, for example, Asawasi in particular have more than 1,000, delegates. So they are going to have two centers in one voting center. So there's Asawasi in particular, they will get Asawasi, maybe police station A and police station B at the same center, so that they will be able to vote on time. Because voting is supposed to start at 7 a.m. Then by 2 p.m. voting is over. Then counting starts from there before they will, send the figures that they got from each constituency to national headquarters where they are doing the national collation. And so that is the arrangement that they have made so far. They have engaged all the candidates and their agents, and they have pledged to ensure that the exercise go as expected. And so they are not suspecting that anything, unfortunately, will happen. But one concern that they are raising is that they have heard that national security have interest in this particular elections, and they will try to come and monitor or try to provide security for the party so far as these elections are concerned. That's what they are saying, that they have not contacted national security for any assistance. They are relying solely on the Ghana Police Service to provide them security. Quite apart from that, it's only the northern region, Boku in particular. That's why they are telling us that they have made special arrangement for military to go there and go and support security arrangement there. Quite apart from that, no other security agencies have been consulted to provide any kind of support to them. They are relying on the Ghana Police Service. And so no national security person should make any attempt to come to any of the police stations that they are coming to assess them, because they believe that they have planned to come and foment trouble. That will tarnish the image of the party so far as these elections are concerned. So for now, it looks like everything is set. But just that the atmosphere here, Bawumia seems to be very loud in the Ashanti region as we speak now. If you monitor the airwaves, majority of the people are talking about him. You monitor the newspapers discussion this morning. They are all talking about him. So for now, he seems to be very loud in the region. Just 3 days to the election, the Ashanti Regional MPP constituency research officers at various constituencies also came out with the data, with the research that they have conducted, which projecting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to take a lead of about 71%. That is their prediction. And so Kennedy team also believe that research cannot be trusted. They are also very solid on the ground, and they are confident that they are winning Ashanti region in particular. And Ashanti, they have the largest delegates. So now all attention is in the Ashanti region. A lot of people are here campaigning, doing last-minute campaign for Dr. Bawumia. Kennedy teams are also very solid on the ground. They're also doing their last-minute campaign. So there's much going on in the Ashanti region, even though they are not making the campaign very loud this time, but they're meeting them in groups. And of course, we have started seeing videos of people who have gone to take money, and they're saying that that is not what they were told that they will give them. So all these things are coming, but in politics, sometimes you see these things, and sometimes it's just orchestrated just to make one candidate look bad. So all these things are some of the things happening in Kumasi as we speak now.
Isaac, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed on what is happening in the MPP stronghold. We will be your election hub. We'll bring you comprehensive, compelling coverage of the primaries tomorrow from 7 a.m. Until they declare who leads the elephant in 2028. But speaking of all the aspirants, Kennedy Agyabeng, who is also a hopeful, has appealed to delegates of the party to give him the mandate to lead them in 2028. Speaking in a televised address to national delegates on Thursday, January 29, the former Asin Central Member of Parliament said his leadership would be anchored on unity, internal democracy, industrialization, and job creation.
Kennedy Agyabeng, I stand for industrialization. It's industry, industry, industry. Employment, employment, employment. Jobs, jobs, jobs. What we need in this country is employment for the youth of this country. So please, give me opportunity to serve you, and I will not disappoint you. Let me assure you of something else. Every delegate will be safe. Every delegate will be protected before, during, and after the election. There must be no harassment, no intimidation at voting centers, no atmosphere of fear. Internal democracy, it must never become internal conflict. We will work with party structures and the appropriate authorities to ensure that Saturday is orderly and credible. Your safety matters. Your dignity matters. Your right to vote freely.
In the presidential primary, citing strong grassroots backing and growing momentum for their candidates within the party.
To the people of Ghana, we say this: our nation deserves leadership that listens, acts decisively, and unites differences into strength. This campaign believes Dr. Brian Agyabeng is prepared to serve with integrity, firmness, and humility. On Saturday, 31st January, we respectfully ask for your support. Vote number 2. Together, we will rebuild the party. Your decision carries weight beyond Saturday. You are choosing not just a candidate, but a direction. Courage or caution, unity or fragmentation, preparedness or uncertainty. We trust in you, and we know that you shall choose wisely, and you shall choose the right man, and you shall choose Dr. Brian Agyabeng.
Was Pius Enan Hadide, who is the campaign spokesperson for Dr. Brian Agyabeng. Still on the MPP flag bearer race, political analyst Dr. Jonathan Asante Ochre says delegates of the party face a difficult decision ahead of the primaries, warning that Kennedy Agyabeng's confidence and growing popularity could unsettle the party's establishment. He argues that support for Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia may largely depend on expectations of a weak opposition performance in the 2024 general elections, a calculation he believes could significantly influence delegates' choices.
If you look at the other contestants or the other aspirants, apart from Dr. Bawumia, voting for Dr. Bawumia means that you want to hope that the NDC government may not perform, or the economy will be bad than what they inherited. Then that will mean that Dr. Bawumia will have the opportunity. And then, of course, the transition of the NDC from Mr. Mahama to whoever will take over from Mr. Mahama. These are the two main obstacles of the NDC. Once these obstacles, are cleared, voting Dr. Bawumia will mean just a natural consequence. He will likely lose the 2028 elections. Deciding on Mr. Kennedy Agyabeng, well, that is a very unconventional, politician. I have said time without number that his style could easily create problems for the NDC. But the main problem is that can he attract voting voters? That is also the kinds of things that he said in the past is simply what they are going to use against him when it comes to the campaign season. Because those vituperative pronouncements will not easily attract the floating voters, the non-aligned, the undecided, and so on and so forth. And so that is where I felt that, well, Mr. Dr. Duchum could have been a better candidate, but I don't think that they have the mindset to vote for him. Dr. Brian, very articulate, no two ways about that, but he has his own issues. Of course, it has been a bad publicity for him wanting to buy or procure, the snake hotels. And of course, making unguarded statement about the fact that they're not going to hand over. And I think that probably, and most probably, he is probably positioning himself for the future. As for Comrade Agyabeng, he should have been a fantastic candidate for the MPP. but they are not ready for him because he lost the momentum from the very period that Mr. Akufo-Addo, then candidate Akufo-Addo, ensured that he and Afoko were indefinitely suspended.
Minsa Akando has inaugurated a 7-member committee to investigate alleged unethical medical practices uncovered in the Fourth Estate expose dubbed as Medical Kalabuli at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. The committee at the Ministry of Health includes representatives from teaching hospitals, the Food and Drug Authority, the Ghana Medical Association, Biomedical Engineering, governance and oversight systems in preventing unethical and unauthorized practices at these referral facilities. The committee has been given up to February 10, 2026 to submit their final reports and recommendations. The Ministry of Health says it will fully cooperate with the committee and has reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining ethical standards and restoring public confidence in Ghana's healthcare system. We are grateful that we've been joined by the Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Health Service in the person of Tony Goodman. Tony, good morning. We are grateful that you could join us. We do understand the 10th day of February as the time that has been given by the ministry for this committee to do their work. That's just about 2 weeks. What considerations, what is their terms of reference, the committee? Will it just be looking at governance, or there will be some sort of engagement even with Fourth Estate? Help us understand the remit of their work.
Thank you. Good afternoon to our viewers and listeners. They would investigate, among other things, the issues raised by Fourth Estate they would also look at this equipment that were procured some time ago for these purposes and then were being used for other means in the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. The way forward regarding how some of these equipment are managed, how hospitals manage their referrals and other things. So these are some of the things as part of what we have, actually, the terms of reference given, they will be looking into.
What assurances is the ministry giving the Ghanaian public? We have seen actions by way of committee work and not implementation by way of the final report they represent and they give to authorities. What is the ministry going to do? What assurances do we have from you that whatever recommendations that we get from the committee would be implemented?
I can tell you that whatever recommendation given will be fully implemented. But let me say that there is no, for some time now, since this administration, our reports have actually been implemented. Most of the issues that come up, we quickly investigate and deal with them. You can bear me out.
Yes, that's a positive on your side.
Allowing this. Huh?
I was saying that's a positive on your side.
Yes. So just to make sure that some of those things, you are not looking at the criminal or looking at the unethical aspect, but you also want to improve upon system. You want to make sure that you have a proper governance system in the hospitals. These are some of the things we are doing just to improve. Day in, day out, we use these opportunities to improve upon our healthcare delivery in the country.
Tony Goodman, we are grateful for your time this morning. He speaks for the Ministry of Health, and they have given us their famous assurances that the committee set up to investigate on ethical practices. Their reports and recommendations will be implemented fully by the ministry. Away from that, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene, has supervised the signing of performance contracts by metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives in the region as part of efforts to promote accountability, transparency and citizen participation in local governance. The exercise held at the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council in Kumasi followed an earlier meeting involving the Local Affairs Ministry and the ministry responsible as well for decentralization and rural development, as well. It involves the Office of the Local Government Service and all regional ministers. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Isaac Justice Bidiako has more on the following report.
Dr. Frank Amoako-Hene, the Ashanti Regional Minister, explained that the performance contracts were introduced under the National Directive with a January 30th deadline set for all regions to conclude similar agreements with their respective metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies. He said the contracts clearly outline key performance indicators, KPIs targets, and quarterly deliverable expected of MMDCs to support the President's development and research agenda. According to Dr. Amoako-Hene, the performance framework covers all departments within the local government system, including human resource management, accounting and finance, sanitation, smart workplace initiative, and security.
Following the meeting we held with the local government ministry, the Office of the Local Government Service, and all regional ministers here in Kumasi, in the Ashanti region, we signed a performance contract, which is to ensure accountability, transparency, and local involvement or participation in our local government structure. We had a deadline of 30th of January to make sure that we sign same contracts with the respective MMDAs. So today, 29th, Thursday, we summoned all 43 districts here in Ashanti region to sign same performance contract to them. So that at the end of the day, when they are leaving here, they will know exactly what is expected of them, the KPIs, the targets, and what we expect them to achieve at the end of every quarter in line of supporting His Excellency the President in achieving the research agenda. So it covers almost all departments, all departments, from HR to accounting to smart workplace to sanitation to security and all that. So as heads of the respective MUSEC and DISECs, we've given them exactly the targets they are expected to achieve for us when it comes to security issues in their respective districts and then municipals and then the metros.
Dr. Amakwehene described the exercise as successful and commended MMDCs for their cooperation, expressing confidence that the contract will guide their work and improve service delivery at the local level. He said the performance contract will serve as both checklist and self-assessment tool, enabling MMDCs to monitor their own performance even before external evaluations are conducted.
We're going to make sure it serves as a checkpoint and a check list for us. And they have the KPIs and what is expected. So they could be marking themselves to know their performance, even before an external person comes in to do that for them. So I'm sure the president will take all that into consideration. In the case he needs to do a reshuffle, or he needs to move MCs or ministers around and all that. He will have all that so that it will be a more objective and a more credible means of assessing the performance instead of applying sentiments to the work and not knowing exactly how they are performing. So these KPIs most definitely will come with rewards and will come with sanctions if you are unable to fulfill same.
He reaffirmed the region's commitment to supporting the president's agenda and ensuring effective implementation of government policies across all MMDAs in the Ashanti region. Reporting for GHOne News, Isaac Justice Bediako.
The Ghana Police Service says it has made significant gains in the fight against armed robbery and violent crimes following the arrest of 12 suspects linked to 2 major robbery operations nationwide. At a press briefing in Accra, the Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department, COP Lydia Yakodonko, said the arrest highlights the impact of intelligence-led policing. Peter Adato has more on this report.
The Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department, COP Lydia Donko, said 7 of the suspects were arrested in connection with a highway robbery involving a member of the Council of State. The victim was attacked by armed men on July 21, 2025, while traveling along the Tamale-Bipe Highway and was robbed of cash, mobile phones, a laptop, wristwatches, and other personal belongings. Following months of intelligence gathering, police arrested the suspect at various locations in the Savannah and Northern regions, retrieving locally manufactured firearms, live ammunition, suspected narcotic substances, mobile phones, wristwatches, and a motorbike believed to have been used in the robbery.
Police investigations are ongoing to apprehend other suspects believed to be on the run and to retrieve a weapon believed to be in their possession. Investigations continues. Any suspicious activity should be reported immediately to the nearest police station for assistance.
In a separate development, the CID also arrested 5 suspects connected to a coordinated robbery attack at Nkasem in the Ahafo region. According to COP Donko, the suspects blocked the Guosu-Tepa road on December 2, 2025, before attacking the Nkasem police station, a rural bank, and buying companies, making away with cash and 2 AK-47 rifles. An employee of one of the companies was shot and injured during the attack.
Ensure that vehicles are properly secured, avoid picking up unknown individuals, and be cautious when stopping for distress signals that may be staged. Let us adopt basic safety measures in our daily routines, stay alert in crowded places, and inform trusted individuals of your whereabouts.
COP Donko urged the public to remain security conscious, particularly on highways and on online platforms, and encourage citizens to report suspicious activities to the police.
We urge all and sundry to remain vigilant against cyber crimes and crimes perpetrated online. Exercise due caution on digital and social media platforms. Avoid sharing personal or financial information with unknown individuals, and be wary of unsolicited messages or calls requesting sensitive details.
She further commended officers involved in the operations, thanked the public and the media for their continued cooperation in the fight against crime.
The Deputy Chief of Staff for Administration at the Office of the President, Nana Oyebanpo Addo, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to continuously support persons with disabilities to help them reach their full potential. She emphasized that education remains a cornerstone of both personal and national development and said government is determined to create an enabling environment that guarantees equal opportunities for all. She made these remarks after donating assorted items to the GHOne Special School in Accra. Calvin Powell has more on this report.
The free tertiary education for persons with disabilities policy ensures full field coverage for students living with disabilities in Ghana's public tertiary institutions. Part of the No Fee Stress initiative, it will benefit over 2 million Ghanaians with disabilities, removing financial barriers and promoting inclusion. Deputy Chief of Staff Nana Bampo Ado, marking her 60th anniversary, highlighted the importance of continued investment in accessible and quality education for all.
Yes, government is going to do a lot for persons with disability, as you are no doubt aware. My sister is here, student loan. She has set the pace by ensuring that the policy proposal under the reset agenda of free stress education for persons with disability in tertiary education in Ghana became a reality in less than a year of the tenure of President John Dramani Mahama. As you have heard, the GHOne Act has been amended in Parliament, and now we have all the special schools being given special resources to aid and support them.
The headmaster of the GHOne Special School, Frederick Tete, expressed gratitude for the donations and called on others to support special schools to improve the lives of less privileged children.
Nano has been a friend ever since over 2 decades from now. But when we were in government, when she was not even a politician, she used to visit us, organize parties for us. So today we are so excited at the school, and we know this relationship is not going to end today, but it will continue. Special schools in Ghana, the public ones, of course, are managed by government, and government alone can't meet the needs of such individuals. So I will appeal to every well-meaning Ghanaian to support every special child in the country. Once they get that support and that love, they will be independent, and they can also do something for themselves and contribute their quota to Ghana.
The Deputy of Staff inspected a new government-donated ICT lab, urging the school to fully utilize it for the people's benefit.
You're still watching Newsroom with me, Emmanuel Agyabeng. Up next is a business brief.
The business brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
On Friday, 6 February, join us at the Kempinski Hotel Gold Coast in Accra, Ghana for the 2026 Africa Prosperity Champions Awards and
is calling on Africa's business leaders to champion a unified intra-African trade policy backed by innovation and technology that is able to accelerate the full realization of the African Continental Free Trade Area. She made the appeal at the 2026 edition of the Africa Trade Awards, where she underscored the need for collective action by captains of industry to break trade barriers and deepen economic integration across the continent.
The momentum we have seen across the continent reflects effort, coordination, and leadership. To sustain that momentum, we must continue to invest deliberately in some interconnected areas, including the following. First, intra-African trade. Second, an industrial policy that supports priority sectors, builds skills, and embraces sustainable production. Third, infrastructure and connectivity. Fourth, innovation and technology. And finally, institutional capacity and governance, without which no reform can endure. These are practical priorities. Ghana is committed to playing her part in this continental transformation, and I trust the rest of us will do the same. Our 24-hour economy initiative is designed to unlock productivity by aligning infrastructure, financing, and institutional coordination, ensuring that economic activity is no longer constrained by inefficiency or lost time.
And let us build a continent. One idea.
Bank of Ghana has unveiled new minimum capital benchmarks for microfinance institutions. These requirements are outlined in the revised set of guidelines for the sector effective January 29, 2026. Under the new guidelines, microfinance institutions, community banks, and credit unions must raise their capital to 50 million Ghana cedis by year-end. New market entrants will require a minimum capital injection of 100 million Ghana cedis. To facilitate a seamless transition, operators can explore various options, including independent recapitalization measures, acquisitions, portfolio transfers to more stable entities, or a managed exit strategy.
A decision to reform the microfinance rural banking sector. Why? Because you are aware of what that sector has gone through. It is a relevant, sector as far as financial intimidation is concerned. They have a role to play. And so we have no choice but to see what we can do to reform the sector. To give you an example, a number of years ago, they accounted for around 15% of the total assets of the banking, the financial sector, assets. Currently, that proportion is now less than half. And so clearly that tells you that the sector is on a decline. So that is why we've put together that that program. The sensitization is ongoing. We still have different levels. So it's not just the microfinance banks. The capital levels for the community banks, for example, is lower than that. The idea is for them to...
Let's have a conversation with the banking consultant, Dr. Richmond Agyabeng, on this development. Doc, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. We are looking at the increase in minimum capital requirements. Previously, the conversation has been that increasing it moves out indigenous banks. This move by the central bank for microfinance institutions, community banks, and even credit unions in the country, is it one that you think is a positive move?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to your viewers and watchers. I think if you ask my candid opinion about the increase in the capital, I would raise certain issues before I explain why, whether it's the need for it or not.
Okay.
Anytime you have a stable currency, a lower inflation, it means current capital is always being maintained. I mean, it's only when you have depreciation of the currency and higher inflation, you always want to increase your capital to fight against, increase the risk appetite. I understand what the governor is saying, But for me, it is not just the increase in capital that is worrying. I think from where I sit and the work I have done on the sector, I believe that it is not only the capital that has brought us the decline in the sector. I think there is a weak regulatory supervision in this sector. The reason being is that I can tell you on the job that I have done, all the supervisors go there, and I don't think they tell people to do the right thing and report the right thing to the head of the Bank of Ghana. Because one institution that I know, I don't want to mention his name, a savings alone who has 176 million cities to 4 customers. Going against the king of Lagos. And it on and on from 2017, 2016, 2018 up to 2023. And I asked myself, did the inspectors didn't go there to stop this tanker? They went there. So I think the government should actually be thinking of improving the regulatory framework of supervising that sector. And there is weak corporate governance in that sector. There is related lending in that sector. It is not so much of the capital. My worry is that if we don't take care, we lean on the capital, we will begin to behave like somebody behaved in 2018 and 2020, which caused the downfall of banks. Instead of addressing the issues within the institution, they were dancing around it. So my question is that the government should begin to look at the internal issues, even his own staff. I can say it without fear or favor. How did this institution force customers to take a loan of 176 million in a savings and loans company in Ghana? Singly obligor, 25% should not be lent to one person more than a group of people, companies. Did the supervisors not see it? And when they saw it, what did they do to it? So for me, it is not the capital alone. They should sit up. The regulatory people should sit up and be up and doing. Other than that, no amount of capital you get is not going to help. And I don't want us to go into the 2018 and we use capital to close institutions where it created unemployment. It created hardship. I believe we should have learned from what happened in 2020, in 2018 and 2019 so that we don't go there again. But unfortunately, as it seems we are going through the same trajectory. We are losing a capital. We are not even assessing ourselves. What we've been doing, is it relevant to what we are doing? Let me give you an example. There are some savings company in this country. They are foreign based. If I tell you that what they are doing, they lend us 3,000 cities, 1,000 cities, 2,000 cities, and these institutions are doing exceptionally well. I don't want to mention their names. They are doing fantastically well. For us, those Ghanaians in savings and loans, I can mention their names. I don't want to mention their names. They don't do the right thing. And the regulator allows them to do the wrong things. So for me, as we addressing the capital, we should also address the internal issues at the BSD and the opposite.
Okay. Dr. Richmond Etienne, we are grateful for your insights into this particular matter. He is a banking consultant. He says there should be a look at the regulatory framework and ensuring that things are done right, not just minimum capital requirement that is being increased. Up next, we have sports with Benjamin Yamwa.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
And you're welcome to sports. We'll begin with some action this weekend in the Ghana Premier League. Elections in Ghana, yes, but of course, our GPL will. And of course, before that Friday, we'll see Nations taking on Mediama SC. Then on Saturday, the big game, Heart of Lions in Kpando will welcome the fabulous Las Kodoko to the Kpando Stadium. on Saturday. Same Saturday, Vision take on Dreams FC in the GPL games. On to Sunday's fixtures now. And Atsofo will be in action against Bichim United. And also Karela take on Hohoi as well at 3 p.m. at Ali Mahama Stadium in Tamale. Gold Stars, defending champions, play against Swedru All Blacks FC. Aduana Stars would be in action against Samatex at the Nana Agyabeng Bedu Park in Doma. Holy Stars of Basake will play against Brekum Chelsea. Young Apostles take on 11 Wonders at the Wenchi Sports Complex in the games this weekend in the Ghana Premier League. So great games to look forward to this weekend in the Ghana Premier League, with the GPL continuing 21st fixtures, if you like, or match day in the Ghana Premier League. Let's go on to some other action now, and it has to do with the UEFA Champions League. The draw has been held for the playoff stage. Fixtures on your screens now, and good ones are going to have AS Monaco in action against their fellow French side, Paris Saint-Germain. We have got Galatasaray from Turkey, who play against Juventus. That's an interesting game out there. We have got also Benfica taking on Real Madrid. So they played over the week, quarter of the week. They're going to meet again in the playoffs. So Benfica against Madrid. That's Jose against Madrid again. Dortmund will be in action as well against Atalanta. We're going to have Olympiacos taking on Bayer Leverkusen. In Milan are going to be in action against Bordeaux. And of course, Atletico are also going to be in action. Plus, of course, Newcastle all in action in the playoffs fixtures released by UEFA just moments ago. And that's what the are all looking forward to for the playoff stage in the UEFA Champions League. So some tennis news now, where cramping Carlos Alcaraz had to draw on every physical and mental reserve to come back from a brink of a defeat against Alexander Zverev to reach the first Australian Open final. Now, Spain's Alcaraz came through on 6-4, 7-6, 6-7, 6-7, 7-5, and enthralling 5 hours and 27 minutes of action. But the scoreline barely hints at the drama that occurred in Melbourne. Alcaraz had clinched the first 2 sets and was cruising when 7-4-4 in the third set, he suddenly pulled up, struggled to serve or even move. Now, the world number 1 took a medical timeout, leaving third seed Zverev irate and looking the shadow of his former self as his German opponent forced a decider, where, of course, Alcaraz managed to win in a 3-2 sets and qualify for the finals of the Aussie Open. Coming out to speak to you now, Djokovic is in action against world number 2 Jannik Sinner. As I was coming in here, it was 1 set apiece into the semi-final game ongoing as well. The winner takes on Alcaraz on Sunday in the Aussie Open final. And for the women, it is Sabalenka who will be in action against Rybakina in the finals tomorrow in Melbourne, Australia. And that's it from us in sports. Up next is international news.
Ansat there has announced a ban on all political parties whose activities were hitherto now suspended after the ceasefire in 2022. The junta leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, has been criticized for suppressing dissent, and the move will be seen as the latest to tighten control. According to Burkina Faso's Interior Minister Emile Zerbo, the ban is part of plans to rebuild the state after what he said were numerous abuses in the country's multi-party system. Zerbo said the system had been promoting division among citizens and weakening the social fabric. Parties were previously banned from holding public gatherings, but the new decree stops them from operating altogether. The promise was 60 minutes and has been compelling and comprehensively delivered here on Newsroom. My name is Emmanuel Agyabeng. On behalf of the entire production team,